You know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go. Monday show, October 14th, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube. Braylon out today, back tomorrow. Going into the Hall of Fame, by the way, on Thursday. We're very proud of him going into the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame. That is a couple of days from now, and it's a great class. Anson Wells in his stead. Anson, how are you, young man?
I am good and bad today, as I imagine most of Detroit is.
Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you.
Hey, brothers. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. KG.
What's up?
What about you? You got a smile on your face?
I'm trying, man. It's hard to stay positive, man, but there are some positives to take out of this weekend, although we all know what the biggest two news stories of the day is.
And Pete Spivak, how are you, my man?
Doing well, buddy. Won a couple parlays this weekend.
Look
Unfortunately,
at you.
the injury with Hutch, but we're ready to talk some sports, bud.
All right, you know what? Let's just start there because I think everybody's mood is there on Aiden Hutchinson. And we're going to talk about the good because there's a lot of good with this football team. But I think for a lot of Lions fans out there, you sit there and you say, okay, this is a Super Bowl championship team. This is a team that can go out there and accomplish all of its goals. If there's one guy on the offense that you cannot lose, that's Jared Goff. If there's one guy on the defense that you cannot lose, that's Aiden Hutchinson, and they lost him. And I think it was a collective gasp, and the Lions put out a statement earlier today saying Aiden Hutchinson underwent successful surgery to repair a fractured tibia and fibula at Baylor White Medical Center in Irving, Texas last night. Hutchinson will return to Detroit this week and is expected to make a full recovery. There is no timeline for his return to play at this time. It was a gruesome injury. It was just kind of like his leg whipped around Penei Sewell's leg and snapped in half like a MMA fighter would that kicks. And it was so bad that they didn't even replay it on the broadcast yesterday, Anson. But I think from Dan Miller's reaction on the radio play-by-play to Kevin Burkhardt's reaction on the television play-by-play to everybody on the field coming up and saying, patting him on the shoulder pads and the head, that's just a tough pill to swallow.
It's really the most awful outcome from a fantastic win that you could ever hope against, and that's what happened. I mean, if you've been around long enough to remember Joe Theismann, the NFL and other sports leagues, they have stopped showing this stuff. And when it happened, we were at the watch party. We were all kind of wondering what it was. We saw him taking off his glove. We thought maybe at first it was his arm. We had to go to Twitter and freeze things, slow things down just to find out what had happened. But, I know we talked about starting this thing off on a positive note, not going right into Hutch.
Well, we're going into it, though,
yeah, we're knee
it.
deep, that's for sure. The thing about it is the prognosis at this point, the fact that he's already being said he's going to make a full recovery. Listen, this kind of an injury is something that could end a career.
Yeah.
So I think that as hard as this is for Lions fans to swallow, the fact that the prognosis for the future is positive and that we haven't lost this young star, a guy on his way to being the Defensive Player of the Year, it's fantastic news on a really hard day.
I'm still sick to my stomach. I watched Joe Theismann. I watched Lawrence Taylor snap Joe Theismann's leg in half. That was a compound fracture, I think. This one isn't. It's a cleaner fracture. I didn't realize it was both the tibia and fibula until I read the Lions statement. Everyone was saying it's the tibia. We're going to have Dr. Pearson here. He could explain to us a little bit more about this, a lot more. But it took the greatest game that I have ever watched as a Detroit Lions fan. All the joy I had. I mean, I was walking around like a rooster that game. I was screaming, I love this team. I asked my wife and my kids. I was just ecstatic. We were eating dinner at halftime and came back. They're okay with me going back and forth to the TV. come back and I saw what I saw, and I had no words. And everything in my body just left. And I hardly watched the second half. Hardly. Matter of fact, I had it on in the background, and I went in my office, and I was doing some work on the computer, and I was just listening to the game. And every time I heard the Lions were ready to score again and they pull a trick play, I went and watched. But I had nothing left. I was completely gassed. So it took the most joy that I ever had watching a Lions game. And I watched Barry Sanders play. And I watched last year's playoff run. Last night's game was better than the playoff run that they had last year because you saw them. Everything was coming to fruition. As I said earlier in the week, last week, I said the Lions are going to kill this team. They're going to slaughter Dallas. And I said they're going to get a touchdown to Dan Skipper. They're going to get a touchdown to any offensive lineman. They all deserved it from what happened last year on that Saturday night football game. And it just took everything out of me. Now, I still think they're a phenomenal team. And I don't think anyone's going to beat them as far as at the end. I think it's going to be the Ravens and the Lions. That's my Super Bowl. I'm sticking with it. But to lose a guy like him, it's tragic for him because he was going to probably be the defensive player of the year the way he was playing. And I know it's only week 6, but the guy was ready to really unleash it. J.J. Watt style, unleash it. And it breaks my heart that he's not going to be part of this team on the field going forward.
There's definitely a personal element to this injury and obviously a football element to this injury. The personal side, look, Aiden Hutchinson, Dearborn Divine Child, born and raised, Michigan legacy, Michigan Wolverine, Detroit Lion, what have you. Guy is like royalty in the state of Michigan and certainly in Metro Detroit and in the city of Detroit. And then there's the football part of it where he is the single most important player on your defense. Bar none, not even close. And how do you lose a guy like that and continue to be a relevant defense? Take the best player off of any defense and show me how they're barely relevant. It's really tough. And, one of the things that people have not talked about today, this isn't just Aiden Hutchinson. The Lions lost Marcus Davenport earlier this year as well. Yeah. So your 2 starting defensive ends that you came into the season with are now both out. And both out either for the season or a very long time. And so how do you go about surviving that? Not only surviving, but thriving on that. Because this team, like you said, Maz, I still do believe in this team. I still do believe in the guys that they have to get them through the next couple of weeks. But you absolutely have to go out there and acquire somebody on the outside. That is an absolute must. Brad Holmes owes that to the players in that locker room, and he owes that to the people of Detroit because you are so close to this Super Bowl, you can taste it. You can't let one injury determine the course there of the entire season. And, by the way, it is wholly unrealistic to believe that any team in the National Football League isn't going to go through some type of major injury in any particular season. And the Lions, for the most part, got away with it last year. I would contend to you that they did have a major injury last year, and that was C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who, by the way, was signed in the offseason to be that guy in the defensive backfield as a safety and to help guys like Brian Branch and to help a weaker cornerback group. And he got hurt in week 2. And I'm not comparing C.J. Gardner-Johnson to Aiden Hutchinson and what they do, but what I am saying is it is unrealistic to believe that your football team is going to play a clean season, and I'm talking clean by way of injury. And you know what? This is the NFL. San Francisco has survived. Pittsburgh has survived.
KC.
Kansas City has survived. Good teams, great organizations survive injuries like this, and I anticipate the Detroit Lions doing just the same.
And the Lions are in a position this season with the defense the restacked new defense of the Detroit Lions, a very deep secondary. This is a defense that can handle this kind of a loss. Last year, this probably would have cost them the division. They've got guys that they can bring in. But, to Maz's point, what you talked about, this was one of the greatest wins we've ever experienced as Lions fans.
Great point.
This game was on their calendar all offseason, not just for the team, but for every single fan after what happened in Week 17 last year.
And what always happens in Dallas.
Yes, no doubt. But I got to say, man, and I'm not trying to turn into SOL here. You asked me in the offseason, what could prevent this team from a Super Bowl run and winning the division? And it would be being the Lions. And not to say that the Lions are doing anything on the front office or we're seeing anything on the field, but 1991, best team we got ever. Mike Utley lost. Following season, we're supposed to go back and do it again. Eric Andelsek, killed by a semi in his front yard. 1997, we make the playoffs. Reggie Brown, broken back. And now our greatest team that we have ever had in Detroit, and we lose, like you said, the one guy on the defensive side of the ball that you cannot lose. However, what I saw out of that team after he went down was a resilient, gritty team that won not only just for the guy that went down, but because they were supposed to. They didn't let up 21 points and look lost and caught in a fog. They went out there and handled business. I expect them to go out there and do that week in and week out. And yes, Ryan, this team is going to go out and make a move. Now, I know there's a lot of Max Crosby fantasies out there. What we're probably going to see fit with this team is a budget deal with maybe 2 or 3 guys that come in, and not one man can ever fill the hole of Aiden Hutchinson. It's going to be a group thing. It's going to be a couple of signings, and it's going to be the rest of this deep defense that we finally have.
Listen, when I saw that injury, there was still, 12 minutes to go in the
Third quarter.
Third quarter. And I said to my kid, I'm like, oh, my God, man, I hope they could, finish this game, at least keep their foot on the gas. But you know what? They did, because it happened right then and there. So your adrenaline is going. What I'm worried about is we got the Vikings next week. And I know it's not the end of the season, guys. We got the Vikings at Minnesota. They're undefeated, coming off a bye. By the way, the Lions, 1.5 underdog already. Vegas already makes the Vikings 1.5 favorite. I know they're the home team, but the Vikings are not the Lions. So Vegas already knows there's going to be a drop-off. You're not going to see 47 points put up against Minnesota. You're just not.
Nope.
So if we get punched in the mouth, hopefully you come back. They haven't lost 2 games in a row in 2 years, whatever it is. But there's going to be a lull now. There's no way you can keep the team going. And you're going to hear from Dan Campbell and the rest of the guys here soon. There's no way to keep that adrenaline pumping until the team settles in. It's a tough week next week against Minnesota. I wish we played Tennessee, but we'll play in Minnesota. And they can get a 2-game lead on you real quick here. And I hope it don't happen. I hope the Lions can keep their foot on the gas. They're better than the Vikings. They're better than the Packers. They're better than the Bears. They're in the best division in football, bar none. We'll talk about that as well. But that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, and
there's going to be a lull, guys.
Well, we hope it's not that bad of a lull. And it's funny, I've been on now my 3rd show of the day, and we haven't even talked about Carlton Davis getting cleated in the head right after the Hutch play.
That's a good point.
But, yeah, this defense can't afford any more injuries. But we keep talking about outside, people coming in to help us, but it's also going to be incumbent on the guys here to step up. I'm looking at Levi O, maybe even a James Houston sighting. We haven't seen him all year. Josh Pascal, maybe Mekhi Wingo, who they played on the edge, here and there. It's going to be incumbent on the guys in-house to also step up, because this missing Hutch, that's such a big blow to this defense.
I don't believe KG, I totally agree with you. It is going to be incumbent on the guys in the room right now to get them through the next couple of weeks. But I do think you need some help. And I don't believe, I heard Adam Schefter on Pat McAfee today. He said the Raiders, I don't believe, are trading Max Crosby, and the Browns, I don't believe, are trading Myles Garrett. Those two guys are totally off the table. Stop dreaming. And
He's been wrong before.
he has been wrong. I'm just saying, if you're the Raiders or if you're the Browns, okay, this isn't acquiring a guy. They know you're desperate. So the asking price just got raised a million times
Cost you a
over.
first-round pick.
Multiple.
I don't know about multiple.
Multiple.
Maybe multiple.
I think multiple.
You have
And
to
I
pick
could
up his deal, too.
If you're telling me that I got to pick up his deal in a first-round pick, I mean, that it's done last night.
Yeah.
You start talking about 2 1s and a 2 or 2 1s and a 3 and stuff like that, I'm a little iffy.
Me too.
I'm a little iffy on that.
Did you see how he exited the game last night? Max Crosby?
Yeah, but he went on Twitter and said that was a love push. He loves that guy, and that was not anything.
Gotcha.
He said, don't even start that stuff on Twitter last night. He said, don't even start that stuff. Max Crosby pushed one of his coaches.
Just like Robert Saleh and Aaron Rodgers?
Exactly.
Okay, I'll believe it.
Sticking with Aiden Hutchinson here, here's what Dan Campbell said yesterday. By the way, Dan Campbell speaks to the media today at 4 o'clock. So if you're watching...
3, they moved it up.
Oh, they moved it up.
Yep.
I was going to say, if you're watching live, it has not happened yet. Dan Campbell on Hutch. This is after the game.
Right now, he's being taken care of. He'll stay back here. Obviously he's going to be down for a little while. And so that's tough, man. It's hard when you lose somebody like him. But we'll know a lot more after this, and obviously wish him the best.
No doubt. And more coming up here. This is Jared Goff on number 97.
Really tough. And he's a guy who's part of the heartbeat of this team, and is a leader, does everything right. He's a great teammate. He's everything you want in a player and a teammate, and to have him go down like that and to be visibly upset is tough for all of us. And he will be fine. He's going to come back eventually, whenever that may be. But knowing him, he will be fine, and he will bounce back.
Because we know how much Hutch means to this team, to this defense alone. He's a tone setter, and just seeing him go down like that, he ain't never want to wish that on none of us. And Alex put us together, and we already knew we had to do it for Hutch.
How great is that? The guys rallying around him, and I think you're right, Maz, too. Yesterday when Hutchinson went down, I just thought they'd run the ball up the middle, the ball up the
get
middle.
the hell out of there.
It's 34-6 at this time. Bleed the clock. No, they didn't do that. They did just the opposite.
They wanted 50.
They had Dan Skipper lined up at wide receiver. They had a hook and ladder to Penei Sewell. They had 4 trick plays in the second half. After that, Anson, this team was out for blood. This team was out to embarrass the Dallas Cowboys. This team did embarrass the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Cowboys' worst home loss under Jerry Jones as an owner since he bought the team in 1989.
Wow.
1988 was the last time the Cowboys lost a home game by that many points.
And that was before the triplets.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
It was Jerry's birthday, too.
Yeah, 82.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday, Jerry.
I mean,
Up yours.
You look at this game, and these guys went into Dallas. We're going to get an offensive lineman touchdown. They tried really, really hard after what happened in Week 17. I mean, if there's a team at this point that can overcome something like this and use it as a rallying cry, I'm not sure that was last year's Detroit Lions. I don't know if they had enough weapons on the defensive side. This team is built differently now. I know that we don't have the depth at defensive end, but everywhere else we have some depth, and we have a different mental makeup with this team. The culture is so different. I think that this is a rallying point for this team. We saw it last year with the Dallas game. Another big point in that season. We went to Dallas, some things happened, and the Lions responded. Same deal this year. Go to Dallas, some things happen, and we're going to have to see how these boys respond. I think that they've got it in them. I'm not terribly worried about this. I know our guys, Dan and Brad, they're going to find some pieces already on the roster and through trades, maybe even free agency. There's another name that I'll bring up when we get into it, because I know that we're going to at some point talk about who you'd like to replace him, who you'd like to go see the Lions go and get. But this is a resourceful regime that's going to find some bargain basement deals, find some guys on the team already, and maybe even make that big move that we've been waiting a few years for.
Anson, I believe you. I'm disappointed for Hutchinson. I'm disappointed for Lions fans today because we all are collectively like, oh, God, no way, not 97. Don't touch 16, don't touch 97.
Right.
You know what I mean? Anybody else, you can kind of weave your way through. But I do believe the Lions will come back from this. Mm-hmm. I do believe the Lions have the makeup, both talent-wise and internally, what's inside them as a team, the culture in that building, to get through this. This is Dan Campbell in the locker room, okay? Watch this team in the locker room, and then notice the exchange between Jared Goff and Dan Campbell towards the end of this video. And you tell me this team doesn't have their head coach. You tell me this team is going to just lay down now. They ain't.
This is the tightest this group has been. This is the tightest this 2024 team has been. We found something special last year, man. I felt it going into this game. Man, it's like we're in here together, and I don't feel people pulling us away. Nobody's coming out of that circle, man. That's exactly where you want to be right now, all right? It's a hell of a win. You guys didn't let off the gas. That's a way to finish it out. I do have 2 game balls, and this time I wrote down some stats. Let's start here on offense. 18 to 25, 315 yards passing. All right, 3 tugs, 153.8 quarterback rating. Jared Goff.
Thanks, boys. Love y'all. Keep going.
Absolutely. This player came up to me last week, and he said, hey, Coach, if I get a takeaway, can I break the team down next week? And I said, if you get 2, you can break them down all week. Well, he got more than that, man. All right, this guy had 6 tackles, had a PBU, 2 PBUs. He had 2 interceptions, and then 1 punch out, man. BB!
Shoot, I just want to say I love y'all boys, and we really finna go on the stretch.
Our division starts this week. That's a great win. Break it down.
Hey, real quick. Our head coach is our rock now. We're in Dallas, in his place where he played game ball. Bring it in!
How about a little kick ass on 3? 1, 2, 3. Kick ass!
Dude, he was going to drop those tears.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. How awesome is that? Is that great or what?
It's our coach.
And happy birthday to Jared Goff, too.
Yes.
30 years young today.
Congratulations.
Pretty good stuff from
His
that.
wife threw him a surprise party on the bye week.
I did see that.
That was fantastic.
Very
Matter of
good.
fact, she changed her last name to Goff now. It's Kristen Goff instead of Kristen Harper.
Oh, really? Nice.
So she's on Twitter and on Instagram putting out all kinds of Lions stuff and how she's a great wag, as we say.
Wife and girlfriend?
Yep, she's great.
All right.
Let me ask you, because you're the historian here. Can you recall a Super Bowl champion that lost one of its most important players during that season, still went on to win?
Yeah, I would have to really go back and look at everything, but
don't say Phil Simms.
Well, Phil Simms is one.
What about the
Super Bowl 25?
What about the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yes, sir. Nick Foles.
Carson Wentz
Yep.
was going to be the MVP that year.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it.
He was on his way, and Nick Foles won him the Super Bowl. And that's a quarterback, right? That's 2 quarterbacks. Jeff Hostetler won, and Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. There's a few more that I could have to pull out of my brain here, but it's happened, and those teams have still gone on to win the Super Bowl.
No doubt.
Great teams persevere. They
100%.
do. This is a great team.
Yes, it is.
They just don't have the history to back them up and say, hey, this used to be a Super Bowl champ. If this was the 49ers or the Steelers, we'd be like, oh, they're going to be all right. They're going to do it. They've done it in the past. The Lions haven't done it yet. But there's no team that's better than this team. It's this team and the Ravens, and that's it.
That locker room did not look like a locker room that was ready for a next week letdown.
Correct.
Emotionally, They're ready.
It's
I
a
think
huge game, man.
I think they're going to
Huge.
beat the Vikings, but more on that in just a little bit. I want to play two cuts here. This is DC on the win, Dan Campbell, and then talking about how he's got professionals back to back.
We really played the most complete game we've probably played here in a long time, if not the most since we've been here. I just thought all phases stepped up, particularly offensively and defensively. We applied pressure. We finally got a multiple takeaway game, and, they came in bunches. We've talked about it. These things will come in bunches. And Branch, gets 2 picks. He punches a ball out, actually gets 3 picks. And so just, man, a number of things that came out. Kirby got one, and Germ got a punch out. And, man, we challenged on the perimeter. We were better. We limited some of the penalties that can take place. I thought our front came to life, and we were active all day. And then offensively, the big boys up front, we were able to run the football, Montgomery and Gibbs, and then, man, Goff, we're able to get a lot of explosives today. The people that I'm around, I know the coaches and I know the players. I know Goff, and I know Decker and Frank and Sewell and Saint and David Montgomery and, Brock Wright and, Graham. I can keep going down the line. Leaf. And I just know what kind of guys they are. And they're professionals. And I mean the true meaning of professionals. They'll put in all the work that they need to get better. They work on their craft. And they believe. They believe in what we have, and they believe that we're one play away from busting a huge explosive that could be a touchdown. Any one of those guys. And as long as I do my part, is how they view it, then good things are going to happen. And so, look, it's on all of us, and everybody's in the right place right now.
Pretty good stuff from the head coach, Dan Campbell. And look, there's a lot to be excited about with the Detroit Lions. And because this defense loses 97, you heard him mention Brian Branch. Come on. 2 picks, 2 passes defensed, a fumble that he punched out. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And what about Kirby Joseph?
Playing with a tweaked hamstring.
Kirby Joseph, 3rd straight game with an interception. 4 picks this year already. Yep. This is his 3rd season. He's got 4 or more picks in his first 3 seasons now.
Amazing.
Do you know who the last player to do that was? Ed Reed,
Wow.
Hall of Famer.
Wow,
That's my guy right there.
Wow.
Ed Reed, 2002 to 2004. Kirby Joseph and Ed Reed. It's a list of 2. So
Aleem McNeil was great.
and
He's
DJ
getting better
Reed-
every game.
DJ Reader was great. And you know who else was great? Josh Paschal was great.
He was.
Yeah.
He got a few hits.
So-
how about Aiden on the injury?
Sack.
Still finished the sack.
Yeah.
That's the way to go out.
Right.
That
It is
the way to go out. That's
It's
the way to go out.
unbelievable.
I just believe this team is going to overcome this. Sucks for Hutch. Sucks for us. That you got to do it kind of without your heart and soul of the defense. But if there's a team to do it, man, it's these guys, and I still believe in them. I'm not ready to jump ship just yet at all.
Oh, I'm not jumping ship.
When you guys imagine a Detroit Lions Super Bowl victory, do you picture it perfect?
Yes.
No. Hell no. This is Detroit. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be grimy, and it's going to be battled for. I have this weird feeling that this is the catalyst to push this team over the top. And I know that sounds just crazy because this guy is the heart and soul of the defense. But this isn't 2023 Detroit Lions defense. This is a stacked unit, and they are going to overcome this. They're going to. I just was looking. They moved the trade deadline back in the in
November
March.
5th, isn't it, or
It's
something?
November 5th instead of so after
There's
week
something else
9.
happening that day, I
I
think.
think we come out this week 7, and we let this defense perform as a unit without Hutch for the first time in a few years. After that, we're going to just see what we need to fill, what kind of holes we have, and then we got 2 weeks to go and fill them. The regime will find some players, and the rest of the guys on this defense are going to show up big. But it really doesn't matter because we have the best offense in the league and the greatest cats in town, period.
Let me ask you guys this, and I know we got to go to a break.
We're fine. I'm going to do it until Pierce comes.
Do you think they did too many trick plays? Do you think they completely emptied the playbook when they were up and they had their foot on their throats?
Yes.
And I'm going to say this, and I thank Pete and Guts, my man Guts, for this. It's the 68 Michigan-Ohio State game where Woody Hayes scored a garbage touchdown. They go for 2. They're like, why are you going for 2?
Because they couldn't go for 3.
I couldn't go for 3. That's what the Lions did yesterday. They emptied it all out yesterday. They took out frustrations going back to the early 2000s on this team. I felt bad for Dallas. I really did.
Somebody else I worked with said that today.
Embarrassing.
Why?
It was embarrassing for those players. Embarrassing.
That's what they
They
get.
got their ass kicked.
That's what they get.
It's so funny. God, what would you just say? I just lost my train
I
of
felt
thought.
bad for Dallas.
No, somebody else.
About emptying the clip.
Yeah. So Tom Brady mentioned that last night. He said, you wonder if they should save some of this stuff. And I think they don't care.
They don't.
I think they wanted an offensive lineman touchdown to make up for Week 17.
Yes.
I think they are so good at what they do.
are.
And they know they're so good at what they do. And they don't just have one trick play. And they don't just have 2 trick plays where if you see it, they've got like 30 trick plays.
We've already seen Jared Goff catch a touchdown.
A lateral to an offensive lineman, though, that was beautiful.
It's crazy.
That one we were up, 37 to 9. I would have held that one back a little
And
bit.
Ben Johnson drawing them more every week.
Yes.
I bet.
They don't
Endless
care
supply.
if you see it. Go ahead. Try to defend it.
4th down, we don't give a damn. We're going.
We had mentioned, I had mentioned last week. Let me see if I can pull up the stat real quick. We had mentioned last week that the Lions were the only team in the NFL to have 4 offensive players have 250 plus scrimmage yards and 2 touchdowns.
And you can name them easy.
Yeah, it's Gibbs, Montgomery, J-Mo, and Amon-Ra.
Yep.
And, yesterday, Amon-Ra, touchdown. J-Mo, touchdown. Montgomery, 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Yesterday was like Gibbs' day off.
Yeah.
Right.
It almost was Gibbs' day off yesterday.
I knew it was going to be that because Montgomery had just signed his contract
Yes, sir.
earlier
Feeling
today.
good.
So
Yep.
that was a Monty game from the start to finish.
Yeah.
That was a
He
Monty
had a
game,
week
no
off.
doubt about
Good
it.
for you, Jameer.
So Laporta got a touchdown, too. Do you
That's
think
right.
Do you think at some point Laporta really plays a big part in this offense?
By the way, 1 second here for a second. David Montgomery, 12 carries. Jameer Gibbs, 12 carries.
Oh,
wow. Jameer Gibbs, 3 receptions. So Gibbs had more touches than Montgomery.
I didn't even realize it. Then again, like I said, I hardly watched the second half.
So it's just like this team is incredible. We'll get to Laporta in 1 second. Dr. Pierce is in the house, I believe.
He's parking.
Oh, is he parking? But we'll take a break anyway, nonetheless. But first, a message from the Boys and Girls Club of Southeast Michigan.
That's right. Join the best youth football league in Metro Detroit, the Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan's 3C Sports League. They offer youth ages 5 to 14 with 6 exciting teams to choose from in Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point. All coaches are trained, certified, and undergo background checks. So get registered for football or cheer at bgcsm.org. Equipment, meals, and transportation are all included for a chance to play for a championship at Ford Field, and that's just for $175 per child. Put the youth back in youth sports with BGCSM 3C Sports. And I'll tell you what, on my drive in here, I passed 8 of these Planet Fitnesses. There's over 50 in Metro Detroit. There's over 1,000 worldwide. You will experience a squeaky clean gym at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a completely judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? And then you can also upgrade to the PF Black Card. That's going to give you access to the hydro massage chairs, and total body enhancement. and more, along with access to, once again, over 2,500 locations worldwide. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness, there's a ton of them, or just go to www.planetfitness.com.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness. We're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today.
Wow. Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Hey guys, let me tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Look no further if you're looking for a new car, pre-owned car, or service. They've got a great service department. Les Stanford, 2 locations, one in Ferndale at the Buick GMC store, located on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. So all GM brands under one umbrella. Chevy, Cadillac, Buick, GMC, Corvette, under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com. Together, let's drive, and you can drive on over to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a $20 haircut special. Scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Just scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. I want to bring in a special appearance for our WSN Injury Insider, Dr. Jeff Pierce, Michigan Sports and Spine. I thought it's pretty appropriate to talk to this guy today. Dr. Pierce, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Let me put this statement up for you from the Detroit Lions, released about 2 hours ago. Oh, well, if you're not watching live, at about 11 a.m. This morning. Aiden Hutchinson underwent successful surgery to repair a fractured tibia and fibia. Hutchinson will return to Detroit this week and is expected to make a full recovery. There is no timeline for his return to play at this time. Dr. Pierce, let me take you back you see the injury, and what's the first thing going through your mind?
I was sad. I mean, this guy's put everything on the line to have an injury like this. I mean, from an emotional standpoint or from a medical standpoint, nobody's happy. It's gut-wrenching. Your heart kind of drops. And then as a physician, you kind of know what really happened. You know, it was like gruesome to the general public and probably to everybody. But then you start thinking right away, what's the repair? How clean is the fracture? How quick can he come back? I mean, after you see it like the second time, that's kind of what's going through my head. You know, he's an impact player. He's not just what his play is, he's how he is in the locker room, everything like that. He can still produce that, but as far as a player on the field, it was very upsetting. But again, right away, what's going on with this guy? I saw a lot in the chat room about mental. You know, I've probably seen more stuff about mental recovery and return than any chat I've seen before. So, you know, like I've always talked about the mental part. This guy has a great mental disposition to begin with. He's what you want. He's everything you want. It's unfortunate. You know, I saw somebody accuse him of, he comes in, barrel rushes, he does. No, that's his play. That's what's made him the player he is. So I don't know if I've answered your question, but where you want to go from here, you let me know.
Well, okay, so worst case scenario would have been a compound fracture. They do not believe that was the case. That was not the case,
right.
Actually. Clean break, and they believe he's going to make a full recovery. The first thing that comes to mind for me as a Michigan guy is Zach Zinter. Zach Zinter, offensive lineman for the Michigan Wolverines, broke his tibia and fibia in November in the Michigan Ohio State game. So that's late November.
Correct.
He was back working out for the Browns, drafted in the third round, I believe. He was the first round pick, but fell to the third round, and he is playing now. He was back for off-season workouts in April or May, and so that is pretty positive in terms of getting onto the field in 6 to 8 months.
So just for the audience, understand, you say compound, I feel like you know that comfortably. Compound fracture means multiple fractures, that things are going on. What we're getting news is that it was a simple fracture. There's plates, there's screws holding it together. Looking at it, you can see the tibia is the bigger bone on the outside. The fibula is a smaller bone. A lot of times they say the fibula is kind of a useless bone, but it's not. Mm-hmm. It's for stabilizing, maybe useless for, an operator or something. But for a football player like this, you need it. Where it was, apparently it was closer to the tibia plateau, higher up. So that's an issue. When you're closer to the actual joint line, it takes a little bit more of recovery. But really, like a lot of people were saying last night, why do you have emergency surgery? It's very unusual we're having emergency surgery. The biggest thing for the emergency surgery is to control the bleeding, control the swelling, get in there, repair it as quickly as you can, and normalize what's going on. And it's not just the bone we're worried about. We're worried about the muscle around it, the ligaments, the vessels. Did he have a shearing effect or a tearing effect of the nerves? This is just showing you kind of the location of the tibia and fibula on the full body here. We just want to see that guy spin a couple times. But we thought, some of the great anatomy is peeling back, but a lot of people know, obviously it's from your knee down to your ankle, very important. People that actually saw the injury, it was like a puppet, like Maz said. It was kind of like it just fractured and fell off, which is tough to see, but it's also you want that quick break and a clean break. So the cleaner it is, word was from insiders of the family and stuff like that, is that the doctors felt that it was a much better situation than they anticipated, which typically means not a lot of ligament damage. The vessels are intact. The nerves are intact. His musculature, he does have a lot of muscle around it supporting it. So if you can fix that bone, normalize that as quickly as possible, get the swelling down. This guy, I'm predicting, they're throwing out there 6 to 8 months. I say he beats 6 months right now. Yeah. Super Bowl, what's the date on the Super Bowl?
February. Even so. I mean,
I think the idea, I hate to say, is that let him focus on full recovery. He's a player, a generational player. It's unfortunate, but I think this guy has a lot of football left in him. I think this is, like I've always said, an injury can make you a better player after. We're going to play that glass half full right now because I have met him a couple times. He's just got a great attitude. He's a positive energy in that locker room. He's going to be a big positive energy when the Lions are still running for the Super Bowl this time. I think it's going to kill him inside, but he'll keep that internalized with the way he is as a person. So,
you mentioned the mental with a guy like Aiden Hutchinson who plays with such a reckless abandon, and I mean that as a positive in every sense of the word for an athlete to play with. When you have an injury like this, in your experience, do you see guys, or what is the challenge there in playing the same way you've always played?
I always use Chris Osgood in this case. I mean, it's just they forget what happened yesterday. To be good at your sport, that mental component kind of leaves you. I think Hutchinson is that way also. There's a softer side to that guy, that whole ballet thing. We know for a fact he was passionate about his dances. Whatever he was doing, he was passionate about. I think that softer side plays different for him. I think mentally he's going to have a chip on his shoulder to recover because there's going to be some haters out there. Obviously, I'm not one of them. I'm full supportive of him. And I think the mental will be, like I said, like the Chris Osgood factors. I forgot I just let in a goal. I'm ready for the next thing. He's on for his next chapter. This is his next chapter. Just like Kobe Bryant said, when he was injured, it gave me much more reason to get up and fight every morning and be a better athlete. I think Hutchinson's going to take on that.
Talking to Dr. Jeff Pierce, our WSN Injury Insider, a Michigan Sports and Spine. Dr. Pierce, what is the next couple of weeks like for him? So you've had the surgery. When are you back on your feet walking? What is the next? Forget about football. Forget about getting ready for football. What's the next couple of weeks like for him when you do something like that?
It's really, obviously he's in Texas now. He's flying back. He's got to get that support system. He gets comfortable, right? For him mentally, it's understanding and educating. And he's a smart guy. He's got to educate himself on what actually happened, what's going to happen. But he's got to start feeling. You got to realize it's not like we glued it together. There's metal, there's rods and screws in there. So that's a stabilizing factor. He can start bearing weight. He'll probably be in a pool walking. So we put people in the pool, right? Because it takes a lot of weight off them. So there's treadmills in the pool. So it's like a SwimX. It's a powered thing where you can just get on like a treadmill, you get dropped in the water, and you can start walking on it. So once they'll probably put a bag around to keep the infection down. There's weightless things where we're going to try to get him on his feet as quickly as possible. He's not, he might be sitting for a week or so with his, the old school, Bugs Bunny stuff where you put the foot up in the air and their nurses running the rope up and down. That's yesterday type
Hutch
of
is
thing.
going to have some great nurses. We know this.
So that, to answer your question, it's going to be where his comfort level is. I see him, like I said, there's weightless bearing things. He's able to put weight on it because it is fixed with rods and screws, so you can bear weight on it once the swelling's down and everything's going on. So I say within a couple of weeks, he's probably putting weight on there to some degree. They're weightless and weightless programs where we have that technology, other than the Bugs Bunny hanging you from a traction machine. But you're able to get into the pool. This guy is going to push the envelope at every step.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Hutch is such a unique player to suffer this type of injury. Not only is he ahead of our defense and on his way to a Defensive Player of the Year, but as you mentioned, Ryan, this is Michigan's son. From the city of Detroit to the entire state, this guy is embraced. From high school to college, a national championship, and now as a Lion. Well, he didn't win a national championship, but a big part of those guys.
Pretty good, though.
Yeah, very good. And so this guy's not only going to have the full support of the entire Lions medical staff and his team, but he's going to have the support of this entire city, this entire state. And I'm going to tell you guys, there's going to be some Lions fans that are calling for him to play in the playoffs because this guy's going to push the envelope. We are going to be seeing talk in January about a possible Hutch return. Now, I don't really want to see that. Like you said, I want a full recovery. This guy is super young, and his 10-year career beyond what happened yesterday is bright, and we want him to realize all of that. But this kid is so singular in the way he approaches everything at his skill and at his profession that I really believe his mental makeup and his entire city and state behind him, he's going to be pushing the envelope. We're going to be talking about a possible sighting on field at the end of this season. I don't think it should happen. I think this guy's too important of a piece, but you hit the nail on the head. This guy is perfectly suited emotionally and physically with everyone around him, his support staff, to come back as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot's going to be said. I mean, you know, the other side is it's a clean break. He had surgery right away. He's ahead of the curve. I mean, I don't want to put the 3-month thing out there, but there's a 3-month play on that kind of recovery. Yeah. His speed and his step and his power, you know, I think he's going to maintain that muscle bulk. I don't think he's going to atrophy like a typical player because he does have some of that secret sauce. He's got a medical team that's with him. This guy, he's got nothing to do 7 days a week. He's going to find a way to be in that rehab. Like, you know, I love Kobe and, you know, God bless him, but, you know, he had that mentality. You know, whatever it was, he took it. I think Hutchinson comes from that kind of piece of cloth, too.
Dr. Pierce, when will football activities resume? Is it? I mean, I'm not even talking about coming back this season.
He's playing catch with the football right now.
Yeah, I am out on Hutch returns for Super Bowl. I mean, if that's the case, God bless him. I just it's a fun story. It might be a fun goal. Very reminiscent of Terrell Owens back in the day. Will he play in the Super Bowl kind of thing or not? Remember that T.O. story? But I'm just going to go ahead and say he's not coming back this year.
It's going to be a story, though, Ryan.
It will be. It will be, but nonetheless,
it'll be the Hutchinson watch.
Absolutely.
Right.
Talk to me about like when you can start resume. Like basically, give me a timeline of he's walking, he's doing running, he's lifting, he's doing football exercises. He's back on the field. Can you break it up into 4 different areas? Walking in 4 weeks.
Yeah, he'll be walking in 4 weeks. Probably something like I said with that weightless system, either a pool or the other technology we have to kind of strap him and create a reduced weight bearing on that extremity, on that leg. But he's also going to work on his, other parts of his body. So there's just natural recovery. Again, when you put the nail in the rods in there, you're stabilizing that joint. If it's a cleaner break, it's going to recover. So yeah, we can go 1 to 4 weeks. He's walking, getting comfortable, losing that limp within 4 to 6 weeks. 6 weeks, he starts kind of pushing it, working with, don't forget about proprioception. I don't know if we've really talked about, but that's that feedback system that he needs. How his foot's being placed on the ground. And that depends on how much vascular and, from a nerve standpoint that was disrupted. So the more disruption, the more of that feedback he needs. I think with the quick recovery, I'm estimating that there was less disruption to that. So we should have better feedback of knowing, like proprioception is just kind of knowing where your foot is in space. So that's going to be the next step. And the water is an actual feedback system for that too. That's why I like aqua therapy a lot. To get to your question about football, I guess there's different degrees. I think he touches it at month 3 to 4. He's probably got a football in his arms right now. I think we'll know a lot more in 4 weeks to give you a better answer. But if we're like, okay, we're shutting him down, we're not pushing it for the Super Bowl, and we're waiting on next year, I think everything gets extended out 2 to 4 weeks.
Will he ever be the same?
Yes. I'm saying yes. And my prediction is he's going to be a better athlete too. I do. I think this injury is going to make him feel, like you said, he plays reckless. He may play a little bit more mature. I don't think his recklessness led to this injury. I think it was a freak accident. You see the whole thing. Some people are criticizing he's coming in and whipping around, and he could have just tackled the guy. I mean, that's his play. I see him being productive for the Lions for sure next season.
Doc, 120 days away from the Super Bowl.
120.
120.
Today?
Give us your odds of Hutch being on the field.
I love when you
for
guys
the Super Bowl. Give me your odds, baby.
120 days. That's 4 months.
Yep. It's 119 to be specific.
All right. So if it was 120, I'm giving you 80%. I'm going to drop it down to probably 65, 70.
You really think he'll be 65%?
I think because of
I love it.
It's like Ragnow. Ragnow should have been playing that quickly.
No doubt.
His mental got him there. He had a physiological tear, right? He had a true tear. There's no question there's a break here. There's a major break.
You just got the chat really excited, Doc.
Well, that was just for the chat. I didn't really mean it. No, I will know better in 30 days with what's going on. I mean, it's really the next 2 weeks is going to be a lot to tell. Like you were pushing me on 2 weeks. What he's doing in the next 2 weeks will dictate how quickly he come back. There's a physiological recovery, like I always tell you, of the bone, but because of I've said it multiple times now, the rods and the screws, that stabilizes the bone so he's able to do things. It'll all heal within 6 months. So if you were telling me 6 months, I'd say it's a much higher percentage, but we're looking at less than 4 months. I'm having a little bit of trouble giving it a higher than 75%.
You're not having any trouble getting the hearts through the chat right now. They love that 65%, Doc.
Dr. Pierce, thanks so much, my man. We appreciate you stopping by on short notice. We'll see you Thursday. Check out Dr. Pierce, Michigan Sports and Spine, our WSN Injury Insider.
I'm inspired after that.
Well,
not gonna lie, feeling good.
I love the no hesitation on the will he ever be the same.
Yes.
Guys, we'll take a break. When we come back, more Lions talk. We'll go around the NFL as well. But first, a message from Swiss.
Now, more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss Insurance will make sure that your carrier is not slipping in those extra fees. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today, 313-530-1698, or head to SwissINS.com. And right now, if you want to fuel your Lions fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com, choose your favorite roast, use the code word Woodward, and you'll get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind. Support local and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. We'll be right back.
Now we can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Proof that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness. We're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
But feeling the financial pinch? So Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, $5,000. That's a lot of money, folks. Call Mark White and Associates today, 248-290-8242. Hit them up online as well at markwhitesells.com. Again, that number, 248-290-8242, to make your dreams come true. And you want to make other people's dreams come true too. It's the season. It's time for the Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign. And how can you do your part? Well, you want to visit registertoring.com, sign up for some shifts here. You got the option to choose a 2-hour session at a physical Red Kettle site. That means out in front of a store. So if you see Anson out there ringing the bell, make sure you don't stiff him. Or you can do it from home. It's called the virtual bell ringing, and you can start that at any time. Traditional bell ringing begins Friday, November the 7th. It runs through Christmas Eve, excluding Thanksgiving and Sundays. One more time, if you want to be a volunteer for the Red Kettle campaign, sign up for volunteer shifts at registertoring.com. It's the Salvation Army.
That's the worst home loss in your 35 years as owner. What is the feeling of embarrassment towards your fans?
Well, I regret that for our fans, regret it for everybody that is a part of the Dallas Cowboys or have been a part of the Cowboys. And it puts a lot of resolve. But the key thing to think about right here is we're 6 games into this thing. We're 3-3. We've had times when we haven't liked where we were when we were in the early part of the season. We don't like where we are right now. There's a lot of work to do, got a lot of improvement before we'll sit here with any smiles on our face.
How do you and how will you take ownership?
Well, let me say this. I have ownership, so there's no taking it. I got it.
That was Jerry Jones talking about, well, the embarrassment
Cowboys.
that was.
How about them Cowboys?
Down. How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys?
America's team.
Hey, there was
That's
another
right.
quote where he said, yeah, my team's in the crapper. He said that. Those were his words.
Makes sense.
I shouldn't feel too bad because the Lions are that damn good.
Yeah.
That damn good.
I don't think they thought that.
Their last 4 home games, they have been down by 20-plus points,
Yep.
the Dallas Cowgirls.
You know, last year they were 9-0, 8-0 at home and scored better than 37 points a game. In fact, scored 33 points or more in every home game last year except to the Detroit Lions. The Lions held them to 20, but they still did get the win last year. Anson, I want to come to you for a minute before we move off the Hutch stuff. Who you got? Who you got? Who are the trade targets? Who do you believe they legitimately will go after?
The Max Crosby fantasy is just that, Detroit. There's nothing in the history of this new regime that would suggest that they are going to go and make a crazy big move.
They haven't been this close, though.
truth. But this team, and we talked about this last night, I feel that this team would rather win 10 games for the next 10 years every season than mortgage their future to get one player to try and do something just this season. Now, Max Crosby might be out, but there's some other guys that are in. I know you're a huge fan of Hassan Reddick.
No, I'm not.
I know, I'm teasing.
Yes.
I don't think that he fits this culture either, but he is out there.
He just signed a new agent, too. He's got
Drew Rosenhaus as of today.
Good luck, Drew.
Trey Hendrickson is a guy that would be able to come back next year on a $15 million contract.
Cincinnati Bengals.
If the Lions could get that, I think that this does fit their kind of model of guys that they want to get. Not a $25 million guy, but a $15 million guy. That should be a cap hit of about 20, but they'd be out from underneath him after 2025. I'm going to suggest something here that's going to sound crazy.
Okay.
It's not going to cost you anything. It's not going to cost you any capital. You're not going to have to trade anything. You're just going to have to entice this guy to come out of retirement because he talked about it in May.
Oh, come on.
J.J. Watt
Come on.
said that he would be willing to come back and play for the right situation. Now, he was pretty adamant about only playing for the Houston Texans. But you got a guy like Dan Campbell as your coach. You got a team like the Lions that would embrace J.J. Watt and have an immediate role from him. I know it sounds crazy, but he was pretty effective his last year. He's 35 years old. He is not under contract for the Arizona Cardinals anymore. He is a free agent. I would not be surprised if Brad is on the phone with the Watt camp today.
So
I'm not going to poo-poo that.
Hold on one second here. I just Googled J.J. Watt. That's it. All I did was Google J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
Sports Illustrated. J.J. Watt responds to pleas for him to come out of retirement for the Lions.
Oh, already today?
Wow. Today.
Wow.
That's service.
2
right there.
hours ago.
That's service.
2 hours
service.
ago. I'm just scanning through this. Sound
like a big
Watt
note.
replied to these pleas on Monday. It sounds like he would.
Hey!
Wait, it sounds like he would much rather prefer retirement.
Was he Rob
Gotcha.
I see what you did there, Ryan.
I'm reading it as I go here.
Gotcha.
It's a Rob.
Once or twice, Watt replied to a fan asking how many times he'd been asked to come out of retirement. Quote, Lions fans, I see, hear, and appreciate you. Love your squad. Love Detroit. Love Hutch. Gutted for him. This morning, I poured a cup of coffee and took a walk by the lake with my wife and son before breakfast. I'm very much enjoying this phase of my life.
I don't blame him.
It's a tweet, actually. He tweeted it. Here's the tweet. This is it. I'm very much enjoying this phase of my life. Sometimes guys are just done, you know? Now, heaven forbid, if golf ever went down, heaven forbid, Tom Brady would be with the quickness down on that field.
You already heard him.
Especially after...
Apparently.
Listen, I think that's the only good thing he said yesterday, actually. He is awful behind
Relax
the
on
mic, by the
Tom.
way.
He's not that bad.
I would take him as my quarterback. I would.
Can I just say this just quickly about the Tom Brady thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
We really doing this right now?
There could be nothing quick about this.
We really doing this right
You're
now?
going to admit it finally?
Man, he's just not good at this.
No.
He there is something there, I think. And I don't believe you can be great at this right from the start. Tony Romo is a unicorn.
Tony?
He was great right from the start.
Yeah, he was.
And then he got
Here
worse.
we go, Jim.
And then he got worse.
Yeah, I was
by
gonna
the
say,
way.
then he got worse.
It did get worse.
Here we go.
But Tom Brady, it was really the first time I really sat and like paid attention to a game that he was. I was in games that I've seen over the last couple of weeks. I've watched for him. This I'm watching the game, and he's just a part of it. If that makes any sense. And I just there's just some work to do, man. He talks a lot.
Now he's just talking fast and a lot.
He talks
Before,
a lot.
he was not talking at all.
But there's really not a ton of insight I'm getting, if that makes
It makes sense.
He's missing players' names. Look, it ain't easy.
No.
It's not easy. And the way the guy before him did, it's just he worked his way up. Greg worked his way up the ladder. And
Did he really, though?
yeah, he did.
Like for a year or two?
He was like on the third or fourth team, and he went up to the third team, then the second team, then the first team.
Okay.
So yeah, he worked
I
it
didn't
out.
think he was out of.
While
I didn't think he was out of the league for more than 2 years before he got that job.
He did it while he was hurt, while he was injured. That's how good he was. They brought him in. I'm not going to argue
It's
with
fine,
you who's better. To each his own.
Greg Olsen is better than Tom Brady.
It's not even close.
No, it's not.
It's not
now.
close.
But he has an advantage. He's been doing it longer.
If you put Mark Schlereth in that booth, he'd be 10 times better than Brady. I love listening to Mark Schlereth.
Yeah.
I like listening to Daryl Johnston.
Are we sentencing him to being bad after 1 month on the job?
Not even 4 games.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
I'm not a Tom Brady
I'm just
apologist,
saying.
but let's give the guy a little bit more than a month.
I am, but yesterday was just so stark because
what game did he cover?
The Lions.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't. Yeah, couldn't really hear in the
watch party.
It was the Lions. So, and again, that was the first game I watched the game with him being a part of it. In games past, I watched the Cleveland Dallas game because I want to see Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Like whatever. But it's fine. He'll get better.
Yeah,
he'll get better.
He will.
I just right now.
Can I ask one quick question, if you
Please.
don't mind, please?
No. I don't
Tom Brady is expected tomorrow to be approved for, I think it's 10% ownership of the Raiders.
Okay.
So would that make yesterday his final broadcast? Because how can the NFL allow an NFL owner in the
Conflict of
broadcast
interest?
booth?
No.
I'm just curious. I'm asking.
I'm not a legal scholar.
I hear you. I'm just curious about. I didn't know what I didn't know what the NFL rules were.
He ain't going nowhere though. I promise
The
you.
NFL rules are they already went over it. They said he's probably going to have to be muted a little as far as challenging referees.
Yeah.
And he supposedly can't go to these meetings anymore.
Right.
There's
these
work
pre-game meetings that, a lot of stuff has spilled out because now he's the enemy. He's the Raiders.
But were those rules instated before that the approval of this 10% went down, or because?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just double checking on that. That's all.
So who knows?
Who knows? Who knows is right.
In reality, who cares?
Did anybody watch the Battle of the Capitol?
Yeah, of course.
The
Up and down the
Commies
field.
and the Ravens.
Up and down the field.
Yes.
I actually think now there's going to be a lot of Green Bay Packers. Green Bay's a very good team. Green Bay's bordering on a great team. Very good. But I would almost venture to say that the team that will challenge the Lions in the NFC more than anybody is
Not
the
yet.
Washington Commanders.
Not yet.
That's a little early.
That offense is that quarterback is as good as anybody. And by the way, if you don't have two of your starting defensive ends to stop that guy, they're scoring on every single possession.
Yeah, but they can't stop a good defense.
And they probably can't. And they probably can't. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't want to mess with Washington in the postseason. I'm just saying.
Talking about a rookie quarterback too, man. That's how good
I'm just
Jaden
saying.
Daniels is.
I'm just saying. I would not want to mess with that.
No,
quarterback.
I wouldn't want to try and contain that kid at all either.
They look really good. And Dan Quinn looks like he inherited a hell of a team. They got a terrific defense, but their offense was going up and down the field right with Baltimore. Baltimore just got a little bit more than them. Baltimore's got experience. Lamar Jackson looks like he's playing at his peak right now.
He's peaking.
He was owning it yesterday.
peaking.
He's owning it.
Yeah.
Owning it. I was very impressed. They even used Mark Andrews a little yesterday.
You know who else is peaking? Just to bring it a little closer to home for a minute, David Montgomery.
Oh,
Yes.
God, yeah.
How
Big
about
facts.
Monty? How about Monty?
That's my guy.
Signed a contract extension. He's going to be here through 2027. Fire and ice, lightning and thunder, lightning and lightning, thunder. However you want to describe it, David Montgomery is going to be a Detroit Lion for a long time.
Gritty and Grat?
Extension. Just how happy were you to get that done? Know you're going to be here through 2027, and just kind of have that peace of mind.
Yeah, I was definitely excited to know that we were able to get that done, and just knowing that to be at a place where I feel like I'm wanted, and I'm able to showcase what I can really do. I'm really appreciative, and I'm so blessed that God has enabled me to be in a position to where I could give Him the glory for the things that He's granted me with, and I'm just happy that I get to be here for the next couple of years.
At what point did you realize that you wanted this to be your forever home?
When I first signed my first contract here.
Was that immediate?
Yeah.
The conversations you had with Brad and Dan, or I guess can you?
Yeah. Coach Campbell was very adamant in expressing how much he wanted me here and how much he felt like he needed me here. So I feel like, Coach Campbell being who he was for me and to me when I first stepped here, it made me want to, kind of go hard every opportunity that I got. So, I'm happy that I'm able to be here a lot longer.
This is something that we felt like was the right thing to do. He's playing at a highly productive level, and he's somebody that we want here long term, and we just wanted to make it happen. And we're fortunate that both sides wanted the same thing, and so, it's a credit to Brad getting that done, and Charlie. But it was, we didn't see ourselves, a year or two from now not having 5 here with us. It just didn't. We didn't see it. It didn't make sense. He's too much like us. He's too much a part of us. He's everything we're looking for, and we're not going to just let that guy leave. So I'm glad he's here to stay. These old bones can't play anymore, all right? This old beat-up body. But it just makes you can put yourself there, and you just wish you could play with that guy. Like, it makes me want to – I wish I could have played with him. He's that type of runner, and he's that type of teammate, and it's inspiring. It's inspiring, and I love it, man. I love the demeanor. I love the attitude, and he won't go down, and he's resilient and he's tough.
But Ryan, Jamal Williams, you got to re-sign Jamal Williams.
That's something.
He's had 1 touchdown since he left here.
Isn't that something?
And they fed him at the last play of the game to tell Arthur Smith, hey, we're not listening to you. We're going to run this ball. And remember when they did that?
Yeah. Right.
1 touchdown.
It's pretty remarkable. This team goes after a certain type of player, and David Montgomery is the type of player that embodies who this organization is, right? I mean, he is everything that you could possibly want in a running back, and you just know. How many times do you watch football, and it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, whatever, and you know they're going to run it up the middle, and you're kind of iffy as to whether or not the guy's going to get the first down? How many times do you question if David Montgomery is in the backfield and it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2 that he's just going to put his head down and get the first down?
You don't question it.
There's not even a remote possibility that he wouldn't do that.
And if he ends up an inch short, we're going for it on 4th.
Right,
go back to the Tampa game. There's their one flaw. They didn't run him on 3rd and 2 from the 2.
Yep.
And then they kicked the field goal on 4th down from the 2.
Yeah.
That's how they lost that game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're 5-0 right now.
Marshawn Lynch was watching game 2 and just laughing at us.
Yeah.
Run the ball.
Yeah. Run it.
Pretty remarkable. You know who else loves it? Baldy. Baldy was on fire this morning, okay? Baldy's Twitter was almost exclusively lion play, lion play, lion play,
and
lion
laughing
play.
at Dallas.
He is a huge fan of this offensive line and this run game. Here is Baldy breaking down. Monty. Thank you. I almost said Hutchinson because I want to thank El Gato who donated $2 in the chat to say we need a new Hutch.
All right, El Gato.
By next weekend ASAP. Thanks, El Gato.
ASAP.
But here's Brian Baldinger on David Montgomery's first touchdown.
So Detroit marches right down the field. On the 5th play, they motion Parker Hesse into the fullback position and Sam Laporta to the tight end position. And Dallas counters with an 8-man box. It really doesn't matter, though, because when you don't go in the right gaps and you get pushed all over the place, the running back is special. He's going to gain yards. So here we go. We get push on the nose right here. Zeitler and Ragnow right here. I mean, it's an avalanche. I don't know where Damone Clark is going, and I don't know why he's going in there, but he's going to get caught in the avalanche right here. They're all going to get wiped out. Now, David Montgomery is one-on-one with Donovan Wilson, who's a good player, but he gives him a violent stiff arm. Right here. You got to get him down. You got to pull his jersey, grab his shoe, trip on his shoelace. You got to get him down to the ground. They can't get David Montgomery to the ground. 16 yards later, the Detroit Lions started their own avalanche against the Cowboys.
Up in the avalanche.
An avalanche.
How great is that? Who's better than Baldy?
Nobody breaks it down like Baldy.
Oh, my God.
He made fun of the Cowboys in another video. You got to go back and watch it, guys.
We'll have it for you tomorrow. We'll get all the Baldy videos.
Yeah, he basically said how soft they are. And that was Damian Woody as well. But Mozzie Smith, he just reamed. Mozzie Smith, the former Wolverine, for going in the wrong gap. I mean, he was like going all the way around instead of like cutting through. It's very entertaining.
Can I just say, too, another offensive player, Jameson Williams.
Yes.
He had and I love this about Goff. So, hadn't seen this all year. J-Mo drops a pass right in the middle of his shoulder pads, right through the wickets.
You don't come right back to him after that, do you?
On the very next play, it was the same exact play. I don't think I've ever seen this in football.
Hit him in the
to be
same
honest
spot
with you.
on his body.
I don't
man.
think I've ever seen this in the NFL. It was this run one play, wide receiver drops a wide open pass. On the very next play, they ran the same exact play and hit Williams in the same spot that he dropped the pass. Yeah. It was incredible.
Yeah.
There's like 8th grade football. All right, redo.
That's exactly what it was,
and it
Anson.
worked.
It was awesome. I love that kid.
Yeah. They have put the onus on turning him into a 1B receiver. Now, it's hurt Laporta. And, I mean, my cousin hit me up today. Should I be trading Laporta in my fantasy league? This team is, you want to say next man up because we just lost Hutch. But in terms of offense, it's pick your poison. And each week you're going to see a different player go off. Would you have ever thought, Maz, that the Lions would put up 47 points and no one would have more than 4 catches?
Amazing.
It's wild.
Amazing. Only 300 yards in the air as well. All those points.
Maz mentioned this guy's name to us in the one of the commercial breaks earlier in the show, but Mark Walston just said it on the chat too. He says Patrick is a weapon. I want you to take a minute to talk about your boy Tim Patrick.
Number 17, biggest receiver that the Lions have had probably since Megatron, as far as height goes. He seems to have fitting in beautifully. They have used the bye week to get him even more involved. Should have had a touchdown. I think his knee touchdown, like on the one. I would have brought him back. I would have brought him back.
Monty.
I know. Monty
was
took
smiling.
it. Monty took it. But Tim Patrick looks like he has now. He's number 3, right? Put whatever number you want on the guy, but he looks as dependable as Josh Reynolds. And I know it's only 6 games, but this kid is healthy, and he is on the right team, man. And they're powerful, man. They got it all. All they need is a guy like Hutch. That's it.
Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll go around the NFL. We'll also talk Tigers. Their season is over. More on that coming up. But first, a message from us here at Woodward Sports. Want to remind you, every Sunday, start your game day with us. Woodward in Maine. Terry Foster, Matt Broder, 8 a.m. to 9. Woodward in Maine, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller, your local long drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Then stick around for the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame show. Sean Belegian, Neil Rule, 10 a.m. to noon, right here on Woodward Sports, your number 1 sports network. Woodward Sports, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller, your local long drink, Sabbath Coffee, Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, and Les Stanford Chevrolet.
And it will be a little early, but if you want to indulge, get ready for the Lions game, how about you do that with 1800 Tequila, the official tequila of Woodward Sports Lions watch parties and post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every Lions game live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township and celebrate the wins with smooth 1800 Tequila. Did it yesterday. Proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, the best taste in tequila, and please drink responsibly.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward in Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's number 1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness. We're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Yes, I got even more alcohol to sell you. Have you ever heard of a long drink called Taller? The Dutch long drink from New Holland Brewing Company. Well, guess what? It's shoulders above the rest, man. We've had some at the watch parties. We absolutely love them, made right here in Michigan with all natural ingredients for better flavor. I'm talking grapefruit. I'm talking small batch gin. Everything you need for a perfect long drink. Taller is your local long drink.
KG, we talked about it yesterday.
We did.
We have both fallen in love with Soroki's. Soroki's crispy chicken and pizza. They've been taking care of us at all of our watch parties, and it is the bomb. And they have a new limited time offer during football season. They are debuting their new flavor signature wings. Grab your friends, order a New York style pizza, and add those fresh wings on for your games this weekend. Try one of their 7 different flavors. You can find them at Sorokis.com. And if you got your fill in food, you got to get your bets going. And if I told you that you could place a $1,000 bet and you lost and still got that bet money back, you'd think I was crazy.
Say what?
That's right. Scan that QR code that you see up there. Enter the code Woodward1000. And if your first bet doesn't hit, that's right, they're going to give you a deposit back up to $1,000. All you got to do is bet a minimum of $20. Download the Caesars Sports app today, the official sports book of Woodward Sports. Make sure you use that code word Woodward1000 or just scan that QR code that you see on your screen now.
All right, good stuff. Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Braylon out today. Will be back tomorrow. Anson Wells in for him. Tom Mazaway, while we just coming out of that Caesars ad,
let's do it.
Let's go through some of our picks. It was another week for KG.
Yes, sir.
To kind of lead the charge here, but he did have company. Maz and myself.
Oh, look at you.
Of all people with a winning week. KG 4-2, Maz 4-2, Ryan 4-2, Bray 3-3, and Pete Spivak 2-4.
Maz,
Yo,
stay down.
Come on, man.
I'm sick of you now.
Listen,
this is getting annoying now. Stay down.
Knock wood. I am doing good on my picks. I mean, past these games. You know, I'm in a pool where you pick all the games. I had another terrific week. Lost a game by a half a point, the Washington-Baltimore game. And then last night, garbage touchdown by the Bengals. I had the Giants in 3.5. They should have won that game. Never mind, lose by 10. But that's what happened. So I still had 10 wins. overall yesterday, which is pretty darn good. And it started in the morning because the Chicago Bears in London. I love waking up to these London games. Got another one next week, although it's not a very good game. Chicago just trounced Jacksonville, 35-16. Could have been a lot worse than that. Caleb Williams, guys, he is finding his way. 4 touchdowns, had the 5th one called back because of a holding penalty. He is on his game. 2 touchdowns, of course, to the man from the San Diego Chargers.
He's phenomenal against terrible defenses.
I'm trying to tell you.
There you go. You always got something, right?
Phenomenal.
Caleb Williams is looking real good, guys.
So
Say what
let
you
me
want.
tell you.
The Bears are good.
So I'm on a thread with Maz and Braylon, and we're texting during this game, and Maz says something about Caleb Williams looking good. I'm like, yeah, he looks pretty good. I'm probably wrong about him. And he's like, why can't you give the guy his due?
Yeah. And then Ryan's like, I just did. I'm like, not really.
I just did.
Yeah, really.
I'm probably wrong about him.
You thought he was garbage, and he's not.
I did think he was not going to be good in the NFL. I still would not have taken him number 1. I think this guy at Washington, Jaden Daniels,
100%,
is just mind-boggling how good this guy is going to be.
He's the generational quarterback they tabbed Caleb as. Caleb's not a bust.
So
He's
6
a player.
weeks in, you're calling it already, huh?
No.
What's that?
6 weeks in, you're calling it already?
I've been calling it since February.
Yes, you
Jaden
have.
Daniels is the offensive rookie of the year. Caleb has been very good the last 2 weeks. But 4 of his 5 games, or 6 now, they've played 6 games. 5 of those games, aside from the Texans, he played very bad defenses. Now, he has certainly progressed. His last 2 weeks have been good.
Franco SH says, 4 wins are against teams with 1 win.
Okay.
All four wins are against teams that are 1-4.
You got to play who's in front of you.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Maz. I'm not crapping down the kid, but let's see.
Third best quarterback in the class.
Jaden Daniels had a great day. 30-23. Baltimore holds on, beats Washington, the battle of the Beltway. It was a hell of a game, but Baltimore could do whatever the hell they wanted against that defense, and that's just the way it goes. It was a fun game, though.
Let me say this. Jaden Daniels is Patrick Mahomes, and Caleb Williams is Josh Allen. And being Josh Allen is okay, but I'm just telling you, Jaden Daniels is just phenomenal. This kid, his poise, his situational awareness,
great touch on the ball.
His ability,
he's got it all.
His ability to manage the clock in these big time situations is veteran stuff.
Yeah, moving safeties
veteran
with his
stuff.
eyes, just the patience, his ability to level passes. What he has done through this first third of the season, it has to just excite you to see what this guy is going to do through his career. I've been calling for a long time. This is Lamar Jackson 2.0, a more accurate Lamar Jackson.
We'll find out. So far, so good. Green Bay's got a good quarterback. His name is Jordan Love.
Ooh.
4 touchdowns for him.
Showed up.
34-13. They beat the Arizona Cardinals. They beat them down. The defense was all over Kyler Murray and that Cardinal offense. And the Packers they've got 3 or 4 good receivers on that team. They hardly use Josh Jacobs, for God's sake. I mean, they're good.
You know, that was
great.
That was like a surgical win.
Yeah.
There was nothing too flashy or nothing too great about that game. It was just surgical. That's the best way I could describe it.
Yep.
It wasn't like there was nothing really to wow you.
Yeah.
It was just, we're better than you.
Yep.
We're gonna beat you, and this is what it is right now.
They don't have that one superstar on either side of the ball that you keep bringing up. It's just every guy on defense, every guy on offense. They've got so many skilled players on both sides of the ball.
They are.
Pretty incredible
They are
stuff.
good. That's a hell of a division, as we've been saying. Houston, they knocked off the Patriots 41-21. Big day for C.J. Stroud, as usual. And a pretty decent day for the kid, Drake May. First time playing against a pretty good defense in Houston. So Drake May, welcome to the NFL.
Yep.
How about this?
This sucks.
You thought the Lions put up a lot of points.
Well, I'm just listen.
Ryan,
No, Drake May doesn't suck.
Oh.
Drake May's situation sucks.
Well, that's a fact.
And you know, his career is probably going to be ruined because that's an incompetent franchise now. They've got no talent on it whatsoever. It's going to take 3 to 4 years of hitting on every pick. That's a minimum 3 to 4 years to pull a Brad Holmes and hit on 4 or 5 guys per draft for you to turn it around. Whoever's making the picks over there, That guy needs a little bit of help. I don't know who their GM is.
Yeah.
But he ain't very good.
I'm trying to see what's up with that Spencer Rattler talk you was talking the other day.
Well, the Buccaneers put 51 points up against the Saints. 51-27.
He can't play defense.
True.
4 tutties. How about Baker Mayfield, guys? All right? He's good.
Yeah.
He's good. Okay? Eagles barely got over the hapless Browns. 20-16 in Cleveland. I'm going to play you something from Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni, we say a lot about him.
Clown.
It looks like he was talking to a couple of Cleveland Brown fans, going back and forth. This is your head coach.
Of course.
That's leaving the sideline, going to the stands, and jawing. This is him later in the post-game press conference with his kids.
I was having fun. And I kind of got some feedback from the guys. Is the sense of like we need you back, Nick. We need your energy. We need your focus. We need your I've gotten that from a couple players, and when I'm operating and having fun, I think that breeds to the rest of the football team. If I want the guys to celebrate and be themselves after big plays, then I should probably do that myself, right? There's times for that, and there's times not for that. I have to have wisdom and discernment of when to do that and when not to do that. But
love that great audio from Philly. But that's Nick. That's Nick Sirianni. He's a Philly dude. I don't mind what he does if that's what you like.
Did you hear Damian Woody this morning on ESPN?
Yeah, he crushes people.
Woody called him a clown.
Yeah, he crushes
He's
people.
like, what are you doing? You're a clown. What do you do? Your team's no good. Your team doesn't respect you. You're out there fighting the fans. And then instead of facing the music to the reporters, you bring your kids in to kind of help soften the blow because you know you're about to get
smart. Yeah.
You know you're about to get trucked by the media.
It's a smart move.
So he's using his kids to soften the blow
Savvy.
of a post-game press conference.
Damian Woody took no prisoners today. He
No.
ripped Dallas.
He clown.
He ripped Philly. Big time.
He
All right.
clown.
A guy he's not ripping is Joe Flacco. You want another game, guys?
That man.
This
The guy wins. Colts 20.
Think Cleveland could have used
Tennessee
him?
17. My God.
He didn't play as good as a regular starter.
Can you understand how good Cleveland would be if they had this guy as their
Deshaun
starting
Watson didn't want him
quarterback?
in the room. That's why.
Wow.
He did not want him there.
Instead, he's got Jameson
Winston. Jameis Winston.
Jameis.
I know, it's hard to say Jameson
I know.
Williams and Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. Anyway.
You did it again.
What's his name on Tennessee? Will Levis.
They're terrible.
They're
going to be drafted a quarterback.
He nailed the poor ball boy on the side. Did you see it?
Of course he
That guy
did.
got carted off.
Yeah, that kid needs a new leg.
I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah. He needs a new leg.
The ball man got
Yep, the
carted
ball
off.
man.
He hurt the
poor
ball
guy.
boy.
Chargers, Ryan called
That
this
mayo
one.
in the coffee.
23-16.
This was the easy one.
They beat Denver. They literally led this start to finish. But a scary scene early in this game with Jim Harbaugh leaving, going to the blue tent, and then, of course, into the – by the way, I want to see inside that blue tent. Is it even lit?
Dude, it's
lit?
unbelievable. Is there light in there?
I have no
Is there
idea.
a table in there?
I want to go in that blue tent and see what it's all about.
Just roll that thing
Man,
up.
What the hell? It's on the ground.
Holy
They
man.
pick it up. Is there even a freaking light in the blue tent? Turns
mean-
out he had a flutter on his heartbeat, arterial flutter, they called it. And even John Harbaugh left his press conference when Jim left the sidelines because someone went and said, hey, your brother, this happened to him. So he said he's fine. But there you go, man.
Yep.
These coaches. And I've been watching the Aaron Hernandez special.
Oh, yeah. How is that, Maz?
And Urban Meyer is in it. The
Urban
guy
Meyer?
And you see Urban Meyer, as you called him. You see him with all his heart issues, and Shelley, his wife, is in there. These coaches go through hell, man. They go through hell. They do.
I heard it's pretty bad aside from the casting for Gronkowski.
I think it's good.
Yeah?
I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
I'm through 4 parts. There's like another 4 to go.
The Gronkowski casting is pretty excellent.
The kid that they cast as Aaron Hernandez is outstanding.
Yeah.
He looked just like him.
He is doing great. And this guy, man, he had a rough upbringing. He had a tough upbringing. Is all I got to say. He was molested as a little boy.
Yeah.
And it went from there. So
You kind of I was watching that Menendez doc on Netflix.
Sheesh.
I'm up to 4 on that one.
Yeah,
as
that
well.
one is crazy.
But
I'm not as interested in that one.
No, but watch the documentary.
Yeah.
With the new interviews.
Oh, it's the new one because they had an old one.
Yeah, the docu-series.
Okay.
The docu-series came out, which is like 6 or 8
Yes.
episodes or something like that. And then on last Monday, a week ago Monday, they dropped the documentary, which is interviews with lawyers and people in the trial and stuff like that. It was fascinating. But you talk about these kids were abused at 6 years old, and it lasted for over a decade. I mean, years and years and years. And what happens to you as a person, like when that happens to you, is just unbelievable. You can understand how it. I could understand it.
My daughters watched it. 3 girls. And each one of them told me, Dad, they don't belong in jail. That's what they told me.
No, wow.
They don't belong in jail.
Right.
And they don't. Well,
I'm just saying.
We
That's some people's opinion.
Be honest with you.
That's a kid talking.
Be honest with you. They should be out by now. Manslaughter, 15 years.
I don't know
Menendez
if you want them
brothers
walking the
rookie
streets.
card.
Yep, with Mark Jackson.
Surging. That's right.
Mark Jackson.
1990 hoops. Mark Jackson.
They killed their parent. I don't want to get into the Menendez thing, but they killed the guy that was molesting them for years, since they were 6.
I don't blame them.
And then they killed the mom, who knew about it and did nothing about it.
Chastised them still.
Anger is a very hard thing.
Yeah, we don't know. We just
Anger's a hard
we don't know.
thing, man.
Kind of know.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You kind of know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
As far as the abuse and everything.
Hey, look, as Howard Cosell would say.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As Howard Cosell used to say, back to the action. Here we go. The Steelers 32-13 over the Raiders. I don't really know much about this game because 2 teams I really don't care about right now. How bad was this game? Did you hear anything about this? How did Fields do? The Raiders are awful. Awful.
Pete keeps
Aiden
saying
O'Connell
Justin
started.
Fields took this game over, guys.
AOC.
I picked him up in my fantasy team, Maz, in our league, and he I think he got me 22 points.
Good for
He's
you,
fabulous.
Good for you.
Well, I mean, he was
Jack.
5-4 as a starter last year. He kind of helped get Antonio Pierce a job.
These 2 teams, what a great history they had. HAD, the Steelers and the Raiders. They're not what they used to be.
What are you talking about? When was the last time the Steelers missed the playoffs? Didn't win 10 games.
They're
All right,
garbage.
they are the benchmark
2
in
years
the
ago.
NFL.
Okay,
for
if you want to
40
play
years.
500 ball, you're right. You're right.
What, they got 5 rings?
Good for you. I'm just saying, history. They suck.
I don't know. They're going to make the playoffs again
No,
this
they're
year.
not. They're not going to make the playoffs.
They'll make it over your Browns.
Well, the Browns aren't making it either. There's only one winner in that division. It's Baltimore.
San
No one
Diego's
else is
making
making
Two
it.
words. Mike Tomlin.
You can have them.
Okay, San Diego's making it.
All right. Atlanta knocked off the Panthers 38-20. Decent day for the Falcons. And finally, last night, the Bengals 17 and the Giants 7. Can I play Brian Daboll for you?
Yeah.
Brian Daboll, a post-game press conference. Hey, man, they scored 7 points.
Second half there, we did go for it on fourth on the 38, didn't make it, and then come back. Is that just a matter of if you just trying to jumpstart your offense?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have any points. Felt good about stuff that we had. We were going a little bit up tempo, and our defense did a great job after that. Of holding them, getting the ball back, and then going down and scoring. But it's hard to win football games when you score 7 points. That's the reality of it.
He's the worst, man.
Fire that man, please.
He's so funny.
Awful.
God, the Giants.
I love him coaching the Giants. It's so
God.
funny.
You love it, huh?
He's a comedy skit.
Comedy skits.
Jets play Monday Night Football tonight, guys. It's
Jesus.
the Bills and the Jets. The last time these 2 teams played at the Meadowlands last year on September 11th, you remember Aaron Rodgers running the flag out to midfield, and then 3 plays later, his season and probably career was over. Because I do believe now, the spread started at 4, right? Then it went to 3, then it went to 2. It's 1 today. I think the Jets win this game.
Jets are going to win a game tonight. It's one of those.
And they stink.
And think about Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback for a second, okay? Aaron Rodgers played probably the worst game he ever played as a pro. If they don't win tonight, he's done. He's not going to quit. But I will tell you, that he's done as a quarterback, and the Jets have no hope.
He'll check out mentally. I mean, this is an opportunity where you've seen.
No, he won't.
Well,
he's too proud.
Maybe, but
he's
the
too
Jets,
proud.
The Jets have struggled with an offensive identity.
Struggling.
With a guy who's supposed to be the head of that identity. You take the play calling away from Nathaniel Hackett now, which is his buddy. But at the same point, the new offensive coordinator, they have an opportunity to unleash an offense that has a lot of weapons. We haven't seen any of that so far the early start of this season. They have an opportunity in this game tonight to really establish a new offensive personality and show this this quarterback that he wants to stay here and he's here for a reason. If they get smoked and they put up 3, 7, 10 points, you could see that that bad teammate really emerge in New York.
Yeah. Might be right.
He got Robert Saleh fired. I just wonder what the excuse is going to be this time.
He said that he didn't know about it. He was upset.
I don't care what he said.
Yeah, I don't really buy that
come
one
on
either.
now.
I don't think he got him fired, but he certainly didn't keep him. He certainly didn't save his job. He certainly didn't.
However you want to slice
it. Yeah,
it.
you bring him back.
You're right.
Busy night in New York tonight.
Yeah. Busy one, and we'll talk about that coming up, including the Tigers. I do not want this day to go by without mentioning the Tigers. Season is over the weekend. We'll take a break, but first a message from the postgame show here at WSN.
I don't know if you've joined us yet on Sundays, but make your way to Shelby Township, Hayes Social 21 and Hayes. That's where you'll find us. We'll be there for the watch party with the heavyweights. This one's brought to you by New Sabbath Coffee, New Holland Brewing Company, and Sabbath Coffee. Of course, 1800 Tequila will be there. And then after the game, join myself and my man Stick. We'll be breaking down the post-game show, giving you all of the information, all of the stats, and of course, the Hutch Watch. That's going to be a new thing. Once again, it's brought to you by Long Drink, 1800 Tequila, and Sabbath Coffee.
And if you're not watching the post-game show in Woodward Sports merch, what are you doing, man? We got the best merch in the game right now. You go to woodwardsports.com and click that shop tab. And we got everything, man. The Tigers, I know they season over, but hey, you can still get some nice gear there. The Lions, they still going hard in this town. You got the Pistons and Red Wings too, man. We got everything that you need to look fresh for the games, but only if you go to woodwardsports.com and click the shop tab.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness. We're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today.
Wow. Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports.
If you want to know where the Best Lions pregame party is going to be on Sunday, October 27th, you can join us at Detroit's very own Second Best Bar, located at 42 Watson Street, for the ultimate fan experience. Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pregame show only at the Second Best Bar. Come get some!
Hey guys, let me tell you about KDK Law. They've got your back dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, other family law issues. Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham have 10 plus years of experience, 24/7 availability. Scan the QR code on your screen or call 248-971-0476, 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you, and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
Hey. Yes, they do.
We'll talk more about this tomorrow. I wanted to get it in quickly. Michigan State game time and network have been revealed. Michigan State game on October 26th. 7:30 kickoff on the Big Ten Network.
Oops, my bad. Oh, yeah. That's a garbage game, that means.
The level of disrespect.
Yep, that's garbage.
Is
they deserve it.
At peak level.
Yep.
Nobody wants to watch you.
Nope.
There's an NBC game. There's a Fox game. There's a CBS game.
ABC. ESPN.
Well, ABC not really anymore because of the Big Ten schedule. ESPN really doesn't do a ton of Big Ten games anymore because they're SEC now. So I'm just saying there are 4 networks that broadcast Big Ten games wholly. Fox, CBS, NBC, and the Big Ten Network. And Fox, CBS, and NBC want nothing to do with you. They want nothing to do with you. The level of disrespect says everything you need to know about where your program is at right now. Nobody wants to watch. More on that tomorrow. Feel free to clip that and send that out.
Ooh, you're right. Turned up, right?
Clips on the air.
Talk your ish.
Now to the Tigers.
You don't want me in on that conversation at all, do you?
Feel free.
No, let's go to the Tigers. Bless them, boys.
Please, I got 5 minutes left of the show.
I got Tigers for you.
I mean, reality is starting to catch up. It's more than just the play on the field. I'm going to leave it at that.
Good. Okay. Maz, you got a thought. Go ahead. Tigers, you.
They broke my heart. Fredo, you broke my heart. Thursday night, I was there for game 4. Should have been over.
Get them wet.
Should have been over. You leave 10 guys on base. Can't get the clutch hit. One bad pitch on a 2-out, 2-strike pitch to David Fry. Come on, man. All right, we'll pick up the pieces. Scooble, give him the ball. Can't score for the guy. Finally get a run over. I'm like, we're done. We're good. We're 1-0. We're fine. Bad inning. Can't catch a break. They get a 5-run inning. Another home run for Lane Thomas, who owned the Tigers during the regular season with Washington and during the postseason with Cleveland. Stephen Kwan's batting like 750.
It's a hit every time he went up.
It is what it is. He's a good hitter. But to leave 12 guys on base is unforgivable. There's not a guy there that could pick up a big hit. First of all, I will tell you this. Parker Meadows is a ball player.
Star.
He's going to be a star. Not a doubt about it. The rest of the guys, they're going to be fine. This team is good. This team plays together. They ran out of gas. And A.J. Hinch might have out-AJ'd himself. And I've said that, and people say, what are you talking about? He went back to these pitchers. Tyler Holton on Thursday.
Bo Brisky
again. These are guys, they closed the game just a few hours before, the day before. And then they come back and you take Scooble out. Don't take Scooble out. Let him finish the game. He had 84 pitches. 84 pitches. They're within 2 runs. You saw them clawing back. You don't count this Tiger team out. It was 5-3. You take them out, 7-3. Ball game. I understand. They gave us more than we ever thought they would. But they had a chance, and they should have won that series. They were the better team in that series.
And they should have won in Game 4, to be honest with you. Bases loaded, nobody out. You scratch one run across in a sac fly situation. Runners at second and third, an inning later, you don't get anybody across. The amount of runners in scoring position that they left on base in this series, you just can't win like this.
Saturday was worse.
And yes, Game 5 was worse.
Worse.
But what I'm saying is they should have won it in Game 4. They had a 3-2 lead and a gopher ball served up by Bo Brisky, who it's not his fault. You cannot win this way. Let me rephrase. You cannot win the World Series playing like this. You just can't do it. The Oakland A's never did it. The Tampa Bay Rays never did it.
Close.
You can get close. And if this is horseshoes, that's awesome. But you ain't getting home winning this way. You have to spend some money.
There you go.
And I can throw a bunch of names out at you if you want. Or we can just wait and see what they do. You could trade for a Vlad Guerrero. You can sign an Alex Bregman.
Those won't happen.
I'm just saying.
Right.
You can sign a Christian Walker, 33
Willie
years old.
Adames.
Fine. Willie Adames. Great. But until or unless you get some players that can hit the ball out of the ballpark and change games with one swing, the Tigers need 3 hits in an inning to score.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Kerry Carpenter, they need 3 hits in 1 inning to score 1 run.
How gallant was he, by the way?
He was fantastic.
Gallant.
God bless him.
They had him, Brian, if they had him in Game 4, when he didn't go out, you had to put Jace Young in.
I agree.
They win that game.
Perhaps.
Do you pinch run for him?
No.
When he reaches
because
first
he
base,
came back
and
up.
if you don't, why are you letting him? Why aren't you making the next batter take at 3-2 instead of swinging when this guy can't even get to second base?
Because you're trying to hit it out of the park, I think.
I get that, but I mean, at that point, you've got to take. He now ends up on second base, and then you bring in the pinch runner because you've got an opportunity. That was the only mistake I saw out of Hinch. Your heart can't be broken because they weren't supposed to.
I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that line of thinking at all. When you're
listen,
so
they gave
close,
us so much more than we thought we
I
were going to get.
understand it, but when you're so close and you have the lead in the 7th inning at home in a closeout game, I'm sorry, you gotta win that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I never like this. I said it on Friday. I said this game worries me. You said it's one pitch. Well, one pitch is the difference between winning and losing a lot of times.
Management never gave us the tools to win those games. We knew that at midseason. That's why people didn't want to make the moves. They didn't want to buy. We knew that at the end of the year, we didn't know how far we'd go. We made it so much further than what our management gave us the tools to get. No one should be brokenhearted. We should all be excited to see how big Illich will go this offseason.
The way this goes, though, too, it leads to a lot of overmanaging.
Yes.
You have to overmanage in situations like this because you are so undermanned.
Right.
One starter.
I don't blame AJ because you have to do what you got to do. You're just trying to get
Game 5.
one out to the next you're trying to get. You have to overmanage when you have a roster.
Leave Skubal in then. Why take him out? 84 pitches is the last game of the year.
Yeah,
it's the last freaking game of the year.
I understand, man. He was getting touched, though. Like, this game, you just kind of felt after that home run by Lane Thomas, the grand slam.
He came back and went 1-2-3 after that.
But
after he hit the batter, I felt he was a little
he was
rocky.
giving up a lot of hits in this game. You just kind of felt like the vibe just wasn't there for the team.
Great stuff today. Big day, big Monday. I want to thank everybody in the chat. Hey, hit that like button for us if you could. Subscribe to Woodward Sports. Tell a friend about Woodward Sports. Get your family to subscribe to Woodward Sports. Anson Wells, we appreciate you. We'll see you Friday this week as well. Thanks so much. Pete, KG, Tom Mazaway, you're the man. Braylon back tomorrow. For everybody here at Woodward Sports, we love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.